Hi, I'm Ken Brooks. Welcome to another tip from the workbench. And again, another request that you guys have asked for. Somebody's asked me to touch on extractor slots. Here in my vise, you can see that we've got a 22 barrel chamber and extractor slot. There, I've touched on extractor slots. We will catch you next time. No, obviously, I'm just being a jerk. All right. We do have a barrel and an extractor slot in our chamber. Okay, now it's hard to see, but there are remains of the barrel where we don't want remains of the barrel, and I will show you with the infamous whiteboard in just a minute. But if you look right in that corner and right in that corner, the cut is square, whereas the chamber is round. Let's take a look at the whiteboard. Okay, here's the back of our barrel. Here's our chamber. The red is our extractor slot. This is typical of a factory extractor slot for a 22. Okay, you will note where the green is. Here, a gap or material is left to where the extractor, if the extractor is flat, most of them are, will only catch the rim right here, right dead center. So we want to extend our extractor slot all the way to the chamber in both places. Okay, now we're not going to extend into the chamber, but right up to it. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do that with a simple cutoff disc in your Fordham. Okay, you can see we've got our cutoff disc. Here's our groove. Our cutoff disc works. What we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to deepen those corners ever so slightly. Now, I said that this is for a 22, and that's true, but the same thing applies for your 94 Winchesters, your Marlin 336 series. Okay, let's take a look at it. Okay, looks like I need to take just a hair more off. All right, that should do it. Let's take a closer look. In this view, you can see that I have deepened each corner. So our extractor slot is shaped like it's supposed to be on this chamber. What happens if you've had to do a barrel setback? Or worse yet, somebody else has been fixing the extractor slot. Let me show you exactly what I mean by fixing. A lot of people know how to use the cutoff disc. They just don't know how to use it correctly. So they get to grinding in here, and we end up with a chamber that looks like that. Okay, in this view, you can see that someone has fixed the extractor slot, and actually that someone is me, because I see this pretty regular. Somebody gets in there and they start trying to deepen that extractor slot and fooling around, and you can see that they've actually cut into the chamber. It's ugly, it doesn't work, it's got a sharp edge, catches the nose of the bullet, catches the edge of the case, so it doesn't feed right. It's deeper, so the case wants to rupture, bulge there. So now you've got to fix it. How do you fix it? Barrel setback. So now, you're not going to watch me do this, but I'm going to put this in the lathe, face it off, so I've got fresh material. I will show you then show you how to go about installing that new extractor slot. The good news is, we will have remains of our existing extractor slot, so you won't have to worry about indexing it. Okay? If you've got one that has no extractor slot and you're going to put in a new one, you'll need to install the bolt, scribe a line on the back of the barrel or the side of the barrel where the extractor has to fit, and then go about using a cutoff disc to simply deepen it so it looks just like these. All right, so I'm going to go alter this barrel for our barrel setback. I'll be with you in just a minute. Okay, you can see that we've faced off the back of our barrel. We have essentially done our barrel setback. Corrected the extractor slot that somebody else had screwed up, remember, into our chamber. So now we've got fresh meat here. Our chamber no longer blows out. Okay, we're going to basically do what we did before and just deepen our extractor slot. See, we're going to come right in and here, work our way over, back and forth. I'm going to change how this sits in the vise because I can't see it as well and I don't want to run into the chamber. Okay, I'm not replicating a damaged chamber, so I want to do it correctly. So I'm going to have to change this so I can see what's going on, do it, and then we'll show you the finished product again. Okay. As you're cutting it, again, you're going to match the contour of the chamber without going into the chamber. I like to put it vertical like this because now I can see exactly the edge of my cutoff disc right up to the edge of my chamber. Just go a little bit at a time, back and forth. And if you need to, you can move the cutoff disc down the barrel to deepen the groove, but you don't want to make that too thin in there. So we can cut off some more material. As you do this, the more you do it, the better you will get. And your cutoff disc, when you grind that, you won't get a polished surface, but you'll get an even grind from the cutoff disc to where it doesn't look all jetty and jagged and whatnot. You want it to look smooth, you want it to look professional. Now how are you going to get in there and polish that? I don't. Get them to where they look nice and smooth and contoured to that chamber edge, and you're good to go. Okay, you can see how the extractor slot contours to the chamber, just like it's supposed to. This one's ready to go. Now, in the good old days, back when Bob was really young in gunsmithing, all they had was files, okay? They didn't have power tools. So, well, unless they had a water wheel, hooked up to the crick out back, Anyway, without teasing Bob too much, he's not here to defend himself. Of course, he'd probably forget I was teasing him anyway. All right, anyhow, enough of teasing Bob. If all you have is a file, okay, you can use a file. It's going to need to be fairly sharp on the one edge because you're going to need to get into this corner and then into this corner because again, we want to match or get as close as we can to the contour of the chamber, the roundness of the chamber. So you can use a file if that's all you've got. Again, they don't look quite as good, in my opinion. You can make them look nice. It's not that. But it's slower, a little more time consuming. But my advice would be get a Fordham. You can use a file if you need to. I'm Ken Brooks, and I'm sure we will touch on something else sooner or later. Catch you next time.
We normally don't cover anything political in GunTech, but right now we're in a different environment and every firearm owner needs to be paying attention to what's going on. You know that we strongly support the NRA. Well, the NRA has come out with a new slogan that I like. NRA, stand up and fight. Now you have an opportunity to help us expand membership in the NRA and get rewarded for doing so. Find out all the details from recruiting.nra.org. It's important, so I want you to go to recruiting.nra.org and find out how you can help.